Xabi Alonso has transformed Leverkusen in his first season as manager. Prior to his appointment, the team was 17th in the Bundesliga standings. However, he led them to a 6th place finish. There will be changes to the squad ahead, with Moussa Diaby already confirming his departure to Aston Villa. Spurs have had heavy transfer links with Edmund Tapsoba, so will also confirm his departure with a 45 million transfer away. Fortunately, Leverkusen have already done some fantastic business in terms of arrivals. Top-rated fullback Alejandro Grimaldo arrives from Benfica on a free. Granit Xhaka will return to the Bundesliga after a 15 million move from Arsenal, and in-form Jonas Hoffmann makes the transfer from Borussia Mönchengladbach for 10 million. As we follow along with the manager career of Alonso, I want to make transfers that are influenced by his unique tactics. That includes bringing in a solid defender that can thrive in a 3-at-the-back system. Christopher Ayer may be the perfect replacement for Tapsoba. One of the fastest center backs in the Premier League, he saw limited appearances last season for Brentford. We've seen other Celtic talents transfer to Leverkusen, like Jeremy Frimpong, thrive in his development as part of the move and get plenty of minutes. Considering Leverkusen have already made smart transfers, there's not much left for us to do. Ayer will arrive on a 12.5 million transfer fee, slightly more than his valuation in game, but slightly less than his real-time valuation according to Transfermarkt. Leverkusen's youth academy have produced some big-name talents over the years. Kai Havertz thrived at Leverkusen, and I'm excited to see how he plays for Arsenal. We'll be adding 2 more 5-star scouts to hopefully continue Leverkusen's track record of success. Speaking of which, we've got a homegrown talent in the way of Karl Meyer, a 70-rated German right midfielder. He's got 77 to 94 potential. We will shift him over to the left side, allowing him to cut in on his preferred right foot. But our Bundesliga season will start against Borussia Dortmund, another former Leverkusen talent at this team with Julian Brandt. As we continue these episodes with Xabi Alonso, I want to do a deep dive into some of his tactics. His preferred 3-4-3 formation may seem attacking, however, it allows a lot of defensive structure. With Tapsoba leaving, there will be a lot of expectations on Kosunu to fill his shoes. And at striker, Patrick Schick is injured until October, so we'll rely on Amin Ali to score goals for us up top. I also wouldn't be shocked to see a 5-3-2 variation as far as tactics go. The centerpiece of this Leverkusen team is still going to be Florian Wirtz, another youth academy graduate who has potential to be special. It's great that he's now back from injury and playing again. I wouldn't be shocked to see him being the next big transfer away from the club. But we'll get into this first fixture against Dortmund, the team that almost broke Bayern's streak of Bundesliga titles last season. This upcoming season will be Alonso's first full year in charge at Leverkusen, and I'm excited to see what might happen. Ultimately, I want to see more teams challenge Bayern for the Bundesliga title, and I think either Dortmund or Leverkusen could be some of the front runners. But we get off to a great start. Our new signing, Granit Xhaka, providing the assist for another new signing in Hoffmann, the Mönchengladbach transfer, scores for us in the 35th minute. I think we took this Dortmund defense by surprise with our quick passing play. When you've got 3 attackers looking to score, it means a lot of goals. But pushing forward to just minutes before the halftime break, we're going to see a good bit of defensive pressure initially, but it is none other than Marco Reus to level things, to give Dortmund a chance in this second half. But we continue our attack. This time, Xhaka once again finding himself inside the box, playing it over to Florian Wirtz. That wasn't far from going in. But in the 65th minute, we'll make a change. It's Boniface to get a chance. Plenty of striker options in this Leverkusen squad, especially when Schick returns from injury. But in the 90th minute and the 1 minute of added extra time, Boniface will mark his Leverkusen debut with a match-winning goal. That's one way to put yourself in good favors with the new manager. Could this be the start of a season that sees Leverkusen return back to the Champions League or even challenge for the Bundesliga title? It's going to be a tough test in our next match. Bayern Munich get the better of us. A lot of changes to that team upcoming as well. But all in all, a pretty good month of August as we debut action in the Europa League. We've got Braga, Malmo, and Union St. Gilloise in our group. Roger Fernandez, an 86 potential prospect from Braga. Some decent talents at Malmo as well. Sebastian Nanasi, an 81 potential left midfielder for them. Finally, we've got USG, who still have a lot of Brighton players on loan. But with this being the former club of Boniface, I figured why not give him the start. He scored against Dortmund. Hopefully he can do the same here. There have been some legendary players over the years at Leverkusen, probably none more noteworthy than Michael Ballack, but Florian Wirtz is well on his way. as we are also on our way in this match. An early effort from Boniface is saved, but it only took a few more minutes for us to create another chance. Some quick passing play, and that's what I like about these Xabi Alonso tactics. He likes to get players forward inside the box, especially some of the midfielders, but it's Boniface who continues his goal scoring whenever we give him the chance, so we might have a predicament at striker on our hands. Frimpong trying to get an effort cleared, but it's just going to bounce around inside of a dangerous position. Eventually, it's USG who finds their attacker, and they are going to level things. You can see we're not favoring possession in this match, and neither has Alonso tried to control a massive amount of possession, rather getting players back and defending. When we do get our chances though, we typically score some goals. It's Hoffmann who also seems to be fitting in right at home at Leverkusen. He'll bag a second goal for us, and that was the deciding goal in this one. We're off to 3-point start in the Europa League. It's 2 matches played and 2 wins. We seem to be balancing out these competitions well. More wins and losses in September, and pushing through to October, we have a derby against Borussia Mönchengladbach. A lot of former players from them at our team. We're faring pretty well in the Bundesliga. 1 less match played than Bayern and just 1 point behind them. Mönchengladbach, on the other hand, aren't that far from relegation contenders. With us into October though, we're going to give Patrick Schick a chance. He's the highest rated striker at this team, but it's Granit Xhaka to start the scoring against his former squad, and Boniface to give us the winning goal in the 83rd minute. We're halfway through the season, and it's time to check on results. 5th place in the Bundesliga standings, top 4 is our aim. But we've had a strong Europa League outing. Despite accumulating 13 points, we still finished second in our group, Braga going undefeated. I think a big reason why we've done so well is because of the changes to the squad. As you can see, the starting 11 looks a lot different compared to season start. Boniface, despite his lower rating, has taken over at the striker spot. Purely from a goals to game output, he has been our best player. Patrick Schick, on the other hand, despite being 84 rated, hasn't scored yet in the Bundesliga. So we'll be looking at offers from big clubs, and he has expressed interest in one day moving to an elite club like Manchester United, Real Madrid, or Barcelona. It's perfect timing as United look for a striker, Schick making the move to Old Trafford on a 65 million transfer fee. To add some squad depth in our substitutes, we will be promoting our homegrown talent, Meyer, up to a 75 rating at that left wing spot. We are ready to move forward to the knockout stages of the Europa League, starting in the preliminary round against Atletico Madrid. A fellow Bundesliga club, Union Berlin, knocked him out of the Champions League as they finished 3rd in their group. Le Normand has made the move from Sociedad over to Atleti. It was a 1-1 scoreline in the first leg, but away from home, we get the winner, courtesy of the center back we put our faith in, Kusunu. Through to the round of 16, up against Roma. Gio Reyna lacking minutes over at Borussia Dortmund, making the transfer way to Serie A. 2-1 in our home leg, and it's a 1-1 scoreline in the second leg, putting us through to the quarterfinals against Lazio. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic recently making the move over to the Saudi Pro League and Al Hilal. But this is the scoreline that shocked me. 6-0 in the first leg, gave us a very comfortable lead heading away from home. 2-2 in the second leg, puts us through to the semifinals against Borussia Dortmund. We matched up against them at the start of the season, and they've made a fun transfer with Zielinski joining the club, but it was a 3-0 scoreline in the first leg, 2-1 in the second leg. Means that we are through to the Europa League final against Arsenal. But first, we've got our final Bundesliga fixture to play. As long as we can secure a draw against Frankfurt, we'll hold steady in the 4th place spot. However, if we lose to them, they will leapfrog us in the table. It's not going to be an easy test. Very similar formations, and we'll need to be at our very best in front of the home fans. Qualifying for the Champions League via the Bundesliga will not only give us some security for next season, but also confidence heading into the Europa League final. We're looking to win some silverware with Xabi Alonso, and hopefully that can start this season. But we first need to focus on the matter at hand, and that is Eintracht Frankfurt. You can see from the ticker on the top left, they are close behind us in terms of points. Fortunately, Boniface is arguably one of the strikers in best form. He scores another one here to give us the opener. But we're looking to get on the counterattack, and it's Florian Wirtz doing what he does, just breaking away from the defense and creating so many attacks for us. He gets by their entire defense, nearly goes from coast to coast, trying to play that last ball across, but it is cleared out. Grimaldo picks the ball up, finds Wirtz over to Boniface, and his effort is saved by Kevin Trapp. We're looking to potentially make some changes going into the second half, and Xabi Alonso working his magic as a manager. He completely turned around Leverkusen's season, and he certainly has had a strong start to his managerial career. Frimpong finding Hofmann, who plays the ball in the center, and Wirtz with a fantastic finish to find the back of the net. He's going to double our lead, and he is our most crucial player. Hopefully, he can have a few more years over in the Bundesliga before what I imagine could be a Premier League or other league move. But this is going to be goal of the season, and what is our final Bundesliga match. Granit Xhaka, what a debut year he has had over at Leverkusen so far. 86th minute, and we're going to see a free kick goal. Don't see too many of these as far as the CPU simulations go, but a complete outing from the squad, a 3-0 victory, and that means Champions League football next year. I'm not sure we'll have a better performance than that, but all we need is a good result in the Europa League final. It will be our final fixture of this season, and we have a lot of respect for Arsenal, as Xabi Alonso and Mikel Arteta know each other well. Another Real Sociedad and Spanish link with Mikel Merino making the transfer to the Premier League. No changes to the lineup though, it'll be a close contest in this final match. The links between Arteta and Alonso go back to their youth academy days where they were both playing for Antiguoco. Arteta signed with Barcelona and Alonso moved to Sociedad. There was a brief summer transfer window where they were both playing for Sociedad, but then of course Alonso went over to Liverpool. Arteta soon after followed suit to Everton, and a rivalry began. They still became friends over the years, and now they're matching up again as managers. But we opened up the scoring in the 21st minute. It's Hofmann, who has been one of our better signings for this entire year. Martinelli looking to equalize, playing that ball through to Merino, but what a save from our keeper. Hradecky has received some criticism as of late, but he was solid in this Europa League final. 2 key saves at the end were enough to keep the clean sheets, and we'll win this one 1-0. Throughout this season, I think we've shown that Alonso is good enough to match up against the very best in terms of his tactics. It's been a great thing for Leverkusen this season, but it does mean that some big clubs are going to express interest in him taking over at the helm. Before we review any job offers, we'll take a look at any individual accomplishments. It was a sound outing across all competitions, 4th in the Bundesliga, quarterfinals in the Pokal, and of course winning the Europa League. A final look at the league table sees Borussia Dortmund finish 1 point ahead of Bayern, and that is where our first job offer comes in. Xabi Alonso spent 3 seasons at Bayern before retiring from professional football. Perhaps taking over for the Bavarian Giants would be a logical move within the Bundesliga. As we review their competitions, they won the Pokal and the German Super Cup, but lost out in the semifinals of the Champions League along with their second place Bundesliga finish. They of course have one of the strongest squads in the Bundesliga, already making some transfers. One of our rivals, Mönchengladbach, barely avoid relegation as they finish 15th, but the relegation spots going to Darmstadt and Bochum. Werder Bremen competing in the promotion playoff final, where they will play against 3rd place Bundesliga 2 team Nuremberg. Hamburg and Hertha Berlin returning to the Bundesliga, and Werder Bremen will be keeping their spot in the top flight of German football. Bochum actually made it to the Pokal final before losing to Bayern, and Eintracht Frankfurt starting the season with a victory in the UEFA Super Cup. PSG were Champions League winners against Spurs, and Fiorentina defeat Gent in the Conference League final. Boniface outperformed his rating, leading the club with 28 goals across 47 appearances. It made him one of the best Bundesliga goal scorers, with Sebastian Aller winning the Golden Boot Award. Assist-wise, Hoffmann led the way, and he also had the most goal contribution, ranking in the top 5 of Bundesliga assists. We got to give credit though to Florian Wirtz. Simply what he contributes to the team and the chances he created. He is our star player. Homegrown talent-wise, Karl Meyer up +7 in his rating to a 77 overall. And now on to our new Youth Academy players. Jan Hahn is a 65 rated goalkeeper from Germany, 16 years old with 85 to 94 potential. Fabian Navarro, another goalkeeper, 62 rated, 16 years old from Spain, 79 to 94 potential. Finally, we have Firat Yildiz, a right winger from Turkey, 62 rated, 17 years old with 75 to 94 potential. Xabi Alonso had some great moments with Spain, winning the 2008 and 2012 Euros along with the 2010 World Cup. I think it's only right that we take on this international manager offer with Spain, and maybe at a later point in time we'll do a live stream with them for either the Euros or the World Cup. But this is decision time where y'all can leave a comment down below where you think we should go next with Xabi Alonso's club career. We can stay here at Leverkusen, move on to the Bayern job. Another choice could be Liverpool, where Xabi Alonso had a historic Premier League career. He won the Champions League with them in 2005 in what went down as one of the most memorable Champions League finals against Milan. They had a fairly disappointing season, only second in the Premier League and not winning any silverware. Their squad is still very formidable. Granted, they haven't made a whole lot of transfers. But Real Madrid is going to be our fourth and final option. He also won a Champions League title with them in 2014, and it is rumored that he will return to coach them as manager one day. But they had a very disappointing season. Third in La Liga is almost unheard of. Their only bit of silverware coming from the Supercopa. They've been fairly busy in the transfer window, but I think we need to add some youth to this team, so it could make some very fun episodes.